Hey guys, and welcome back to Talking Business with Kobi Simmat. I just want to take an opportunity to say how good it is after 107 days of lockdown in Sydney, Australia, that some of us can go back to the office. I'm actually really enjoying this kind of hybrid environment. It's how I started the business 17 years ago, and I really enjoy kind of working from home and working from the office, but not feeling compelled to kind of, 9 to 5 at the office, plus do extra hours at home. I really like this kind of, actually it's outcomes focused. So I think there's a couple of things that we consider, and we've come up with 5 kind of tips for returning to the office and what that might look like. And I just wanted to talk to you about that today. So for those of you that haven't been in lockdown, good for you. For those of you that have, I hope you're excited about having some freedom. And for those of you that are still in lockdown in different parts of the world, then hopefully this can help you too. Because I think it's relevant for your home workspace, but I think it's also relevant for your office workspace. Okay, so the first thing is really having a conversation about communication and transitioning back to the office. Now, literally before we went live to record this video, we were talking about that. Like, what are my expectations as a leader? And someone was asking me, are we all going back to the office? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I get distracted in the office and I don't get much done. Like, yes, I've got positive energy, and yes, I'm with the team, but the team lean on me and rely on me, and I can actually see people growing and developing when I'm absent, surprisingly enough. So I think it's important to have a conversation about expectations, but lead that conversation with outcomes. Think about what your goals are for the organisation for the next short period. You're kind of transitioning. People have built some routines around working from home. Maybe they've got good exercise routines, good eating habits. I'd like to see those things to continue because I think they're good for business. If people are at home and they're eating properly and they're exercising, they're going to be smarter and more switched on for your organisation. If they come back to the working environment, they're buying lunch again and they're spending money and they're not eating properly, they're putting the weight back on that they lost. Maybe coming back to the office means they drink less alcohol. That'll certainly be the case for me because I've snuck in a sneaky beer on the odd early afternoon when I have been working from home, but I've got a handle on that now. No, I'm not a closet alcoholic, that's okay. So I want you to think about that. So think about the communication process and what are we putting in place. You obviously want to be safe. So it's about continuing to ensure that you're not sharing the sickness of COVID. And I think all of the commentary about vaccinations and restrictions has kind of lost the point. Actually, we're trying to not make each other sick. So bring it right back down to how can we actually avoid spreading the disease in our office? How does the disease get transmitted? So maybe you take people's temperatures. Maybe people take their own temperature. Good hand hygiene, socially distancing so that you're not spitting on each other. That's the reality of it, right? It's about sharing saliva. So get back to that conversation. Get back to that conversation about, how can we stop transmitting the disease and have a good narrative around that. Forget the restrictions. Have an honest conversation. They're really smart people that work for you. Have a smart conversation. Okay, number 2, managing your stress levels. So I think it's important to be thinking about what the winning day looks like. What's a good routine for doing exercise, eating properly, getting enough sleep. I've noticed while I've been working from home, I've been going to bed a little bit later because I don't have to get up so early to commute. So I really want you guys to be thinking about that. My perfect day is going to bed at 9:30 p.m. Now, I like to get up really early and get my day started. I only need about 6.5 hours sleep. I like to get up super early and get heaps done before my family wakes up. I want you to think about that, whether you're a night owl, whether you're tired and exhausted. I also noticed after having a couple of late nights last week that I was actually feeling fatigued and I couldn't set goals when I was tired. I tried to sit down and do kind of a goal setting exercise and I was fatigued and I was like, this isn't for me right now. Now, normally I don't have a problem with that. And I noticed that I was going to bed at kind of 10:30, 11, 11:30. I was binge watching a show on Netflix. I was like, okay, I've had my little holiday. I'm back into it. So into bed, 9:30, 10 p.m., out of bed at 5 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m., and into it. So I want you to think about how you can manage your stress. I'm definitely less stressed when I've had a good night's sleep. So good night's sleep, the easiest way to achieve a good night's sleep, no stimulants like caffeine or chocolate. Try to stop eating at 7 p.m., try to be in bed at 9:30 and you're good to go. Okay, revamp your desk. The best thing I did at the start of this most recent lockdown was I cleaned out my whole home office. And yes, it gets out of control because I even get busy at home. But think about your desk when you go back to work. Give it a good clean. Clear off all the crap. For us here at Best Practice, we haven't been in the office for 6 months. So anything that hasn't been touched in the 6 months, chuck it out, get everything clean, get rid of the rubbish, recycle all the paper and get on with it, because all that shit's old anyway and you don't need it. And you didn't need it the last 6 months, so throw it out. So a good clean out. There was a recent survey that 28% of survey responses said they would save over an hour if their desk was better organised. An hour every day if their desk was better organised. Now, in theory, if you've been working from home, you've just been on a laptop, you haven't had all the crap, you don't need the crap. Okay, so get organised. And does your computer need a bit of a tidy up? Have you got shit saved all over the place? Needs a bit of an overhaul. Take a break and leave the premises. So if you are going back to the office, don't get back into your old routine. You don't need to go back to 10, 12, 14-hour days in the office plus your commutes. So think about what that looks like. Maybe set yourself an alarm. Get up every hour, go for a walk for 5 minutes. And make sure you're leaving the office on time. In the Southern Hemisphere, we're coming into summer. We want to make use of the amazing places that we live in the outdoors. For you guys up in the Northern Hemisphere going into winter, think about what you can do to get some exercise and leave on time. And think about that family time. Think about, those other parts of your life, the social parts of your life and your family parts of your life and your hobbies, those other things you've been enjoying because you've had a nicer blend of life over the last couple of months. So they're my 5 things: communication, managing your stress levels, revamping your desk, taking regular breaks and leaving the office on time. So I think if we can be strict with that, certainly for a little bit of time with some not negotiables, I think that's going to work in everyone's favour. I hope this was really helpful. If it was really helpful, don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what other things you're doing when you head back to the office after lockdown or back to work, back to your workplace. What are the other things that you're doing in your organisation? And I'd love to hear your advice because we need it. We're looking for ideas. So what advice have you got for us? Let me know in the comments. Hit the follow button. And if you're on YouTube, hit that notifications bell at the top so that when we drop new videos, you're going to be the first to see them. Okay, that's it from me. Kobi Simmat signing out. This has been Talking Business with Kobi Simmat on the Kobi Simmat podcast. It's also been Best Practice TV on YouTube and various other LinkedIn and Instagram platforms as well. So wherever you're watching, hope you're having a great time. I look forward to an incredible end to 2021 as we look towards 2022. Okay, bye for now.